Have you ever felt limited by the prototyping functionalities in XD or Figma? Don't get me wrong, for a lot of cases, these tools work great, but sometimes it's actually really important to be able to show your stakeholders more realistic and detailed interactions, and ProtoPie is a really cool tool that can help you do that. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 really simple ways that you can start dipping your toes into ProtoPie and create some really cool interactions that you can't do in XD or Figma. If you want to use ProtoPie yourself, go ahead and pop open the description box below, use my link for a free plan, or you can use code Maddie for 30% off of a pro plan. All right, let's get right into the first one. Okay, so first we are going to try to mock up a text input. So as you know, in XD and Figma, you can't really do that in prototype mode. Like I can't actually use my keyboard, but in ProtoPie you can. So I'm taking a design that I've already done in Figma, and you guys should watch this video. I will link it if you haven't yet. I'm just hitting in the ProtoPie plugin this export button. Okay, so say we want this field to be our input field. All I'm gonna do is come up to text, input, and then I'm just going to create like a placeholder box over where I want it to be like tappable and interactive. So I'm just going to go like that, right directly over what I created before. And then I'm just gonna go and match the styles. So the placeholder text color, I'm gonna make that the same color as this icon. The background color, I'm gonna make this beige. The font, I'm gonna make that Quasimodo, which is what we were using over there. Oops. And then instead of saying placeholder, I'm gonna have it say search in all, like we have in the actual app. So now we literally have like an identical element here. And that is literally all we need to do in order to make this work. So I'm gonna show you what happens when we hit preview and then we click on this here. The keyboard will come up in this preview, but it doesn't let you actually type because it's not a real keyboard, it's just an image. But I downloaded the ProtoPie app, which is totally free. And so what I'm going to do is just scan this QR code. Then we'll be able to actually test this prototype on our device. So I'm just hitting that search, and then I can actually type in, whatever, and it actually works. And this input field is actually really customizable. So you don't just have to do a text keyboard for this. You could also do things like URL, email, a number pad. So let's say that you did number pad, then we'll preview this. Then this type of keyboard comes up instead. So that is super flexible. You can also change what the keyboard says. So instead of the default go, I changed it to search. You could also change it to done or send if you're doing like a text message. You can do things like number, password, text password, so it will actually hide the password as the user is typing it. So you can mock up things like that. And also if you come up here for text options, you can also change it to multi-line. So then I could make this, a big text box, and we could make it like a longer input. So it's pretty cool. You can mock up pretty much any type of text input that you need. That's the first thing that you can do in ProtoPie super easily. And there are also, I should mention, there's something called ProtoPie School, which is like free videos on their website that show you how to do interactions, simple and complex. And that's where I learned how to do these. So if I didn't go in detail as much as you wanted, I'll leave a link to ProtoPie School below as well, so that you can kind of learn more tricks and just like really get familiar in ProtoPie if you want. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is map interactions. So something that's really common that you might want to be mocking up in your designs is like a pinch to zoom type of thing, and you might need to do that in a map. So that's what we're going to do in this example. So when I mocked it up in Figma, I just had the map looking like this because I knew there wouldn't be too many interactions. But since we want to be able to move around the map, I'm going to actually make it a lot bigger. I'm going to come into shapes and add a rectangle to use kind of as a mask. So this is going to take up the area that will actually show the map. So I'm just going to position these around and do control click over here in the layers panel and do use as mask. And so this way we have, you know, this screenshot is inside of our rectangular mask. Next, we're just going to add a move trigger. So I'm going to do add trigger and we're going to do drag. Then once we have that, we can add a response of move. So let's preview that and see what it looks like. Sweet, so now we can move around the map. Now let's add a different one. So we're going to do pinch and we'll add scale as our response. And when we do this, we have to choose a layer that you're sort of pinching. So I'm gonna do the screenshot here. Now I can't really preview this pinch trigger without my phone. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to open up the ProtoPie app. As you can see here, it's working great. So I can zoom out all the way. It's really that simple to create things like this. You can get much more in depth with them, but that's kind of the basics of how to do these like multi-touch gestures with a map example. Another thing you might want to do is simulate what it would look like to open a camera and maybe take a picture. So I'm going to, for this scene, I'm going to go up to media and add camera, and I'm just going to add a camera layer here. So what this app is you should be able to like take a picture of something, whether it be a billboard or packaging or anything, and kind of get suggestions of similar fonts of things that you're seeing in the real world. So I feel like that could be a cool example for this. So I just put this camera scene right here. And then what we're gonna do is add a trigger that says start and then camera. And we're gonna select the layer and select this camera layer. So then let's see what that looks like. Okay, pretty cool. So hi, you can see this is actually working. And yeah, there's tons of other stuff you can do to actually kind of make it look like you're taking a picture and like freeze the frame and stuff like that. So you can definitely play around and get more creative with it. But those are the 3 things that I thought that you could dive into first if you're just getting into ProtoPie. If you guys are already using ProtoPie, let me know in the comments and let me know if there are any interactions that you want me to try out. I'm still really just getting into this tool, so I'm curious if you want to follow along kind of on my journey, if there's anything else that you want to see me try to create. I think that could be really fun if it's something that you guys are interested in. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!